Hello everyone, we're back with some of the letter. It's day 2 of the stay up all night, except I kind of around like 8 p.m. last night I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap before waking up at midnight. And then at 4 a.m. I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to get up at midnight and play some video games. Oh, dang it. So it's another short day. Tomorrow though, I'm going hard on Hang On. I don't think I'll be getting the full 20 videos, but this is video 3. So I'm going to finish up the letter tonight. Probably. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess this because we press continue. So how far can we skip with Rebecca? All of it? All of it. Okay, good. I'm okay with skipping all of it. Okay, so this is the beginning of the game where she comes to pick up Isabella. But Isabella got a ride from Ashton. This entire game is just it trying to justify Rebecca being rude. But she's a rude dude. Do people say dudette? Because usually when I say dude, I also include females in there. I rarely use dude as a term to refer to guys. Just be nice, yeah. The question is, do we be nice to Ashton? There's actually an achievement we never got. It's if the friendships with all the 4 friends, you know, Isabella, Zachary, Rebecca, and Ashton, is positive. During our Everybody Lives run, Rebecca and Ashton was not too swell like it is now, because it's hard to manage them because there's a lot of choices between Isabella and Rebecca, especially at the end. It's worth like 3 points, I think. Can I assume this is the hospital, or? It begins routinely enough. Immediately after I read the news this morning, I called her, offered to treat her to a free dinner to help take her mind off things. Because knowing her, this might turn into another episode where she'll lock herself up in her room. No. What day is it? Oh, does it actually require me to go through them all? Because the news is annoying. That is the 24th. Yeah, it's the 24th, okay. It doesn't happen frequently. She's grown sensible that much, at least, but I might as well prevent it before we go down that road. The last time it did, less than 5 years ago, after the incident in Devlin Court, it took Ashton, of all people, to coax her out of her soul. What happened at Devlin Court? She isn't the one responsible for Miss Cooper's death, but this will weigh on her, regardless. After all, the woman was her mentor. It was only a brief period years ago, and they never worked together again after, but she still feels like she owes the woman a lot up to this day. To my relief, she agreed, even promised she'll meet me at St. Goretti right after my classes. Though it is a bit odd of her to ask me to stay safe before suddenly cutting off our talk, everything's going swimmingly. What isn't part of the plan is her failing to turn up, leaving me waiting for hours.
Where the bloody hell is she?
4 hours from the time we agreed on, and still counting. Yet I received not a single call or text from her. This after I took the courtesy. Well, she actually called you. You just didn't answer. Well, ghost powers. Ghost powers can interfere with the cell phone. It's common knowledge. This after I took the courtesy and effort of sending her a message, telling her where I'm heading to when I had to leave the school. She could have done that too, at least, and saved me the trouble of waiting.
She can be such a child sometimes. I swear, if she locked herself up in that room, she's not going to hear the end of this.
Dancing on my watch only stirs up my temper further. Almost closing time now. With the exception of a few still in line for some late night coffee and snack, or those simply finishing their food, the small crowd inside has started to thin out. Half of the normally bustling place is now empty, and the speakers have stopped playing music seconds ago. Still, I wish they kept it going longer for a few more minutes. I can do with some relaxing music right now. Especially with the pitying looks the manager and the one manning the cashier are giving me. Once I hit my second hour of waiting here. They said 4! The former even offered me another cup for free, but I drank through my second one earlier. Naturally, I appreciate the gesture. The woman has been nothing but kind to us in the times Isabel and I happened to catch her here. That's a guy! I mean... Oh no, the manager. Okay. This time, however, they probably think my date stood me up or something, even if the reality falls far from it. Extremely far. Honestly, this is more like waiting for your child after school, if there's any comparison to make. Although if it were Ashton, if you do ever go on a date, I doubt he'd ever do this. He may be an embarrassing friend to have for Zachary and Isabella and has his odd moments, but he's definitely a reliable guy. Probably the only one I've ever had the chance of knowing this long, except for Zachary.
If he won't make it, I'm sure he'll at least have the decency to inform me beforehand.
Not that I'll ever have the courage to ask him, or any of that sort of happening anytime soon. I haven't even forgotten my poor attempt at a confession back in secondary. I wrote a short letter for him then, only for it to end up unread and hidden away someplace. It was called The Letter. The Letter Zero. That might be a reference to, like, they had a little, like, spin-off visual novel, I guess? I guess you could call it that? I forget any details about it, I just remember it exists. I might have already lost it, in fact, after I moved out from home. Along with that diary I used to so religiously write on. Was it called The Diary? Maybe? But all that's irrelevant and a wholly different matter from this. Besides, it's getting late. They had to make a call back to it somehow. It's already quite obvious that Isabella has no plans to ever showing up tonight. She thinks she's getting away from pulling such a stunt on me. She's got another thing coming for her. When I called her this morning, I genuinely believe she's better than that childish part of her. But this simply proves things otherwise, doesn't it? She should be thankful. It's only because of my own stubbornness and good faith in her that I stayed here beyond the bounds of what my own patience allows me.
And look where that got me.
Might as well leave now, too. Considering the loud blaring of sirens passing by outside, getting home tonight might take longer. Probably an accident, yeah! Wow. That really happens here in Luxburn, but not entirely unheard of. Most of the time, it just results in heavy traffic and a few roads nearby being temporarily closed off. Judging from the direction the police and mobiles headed to and from where an ambulance came from earlier, it's the same route I took. It's in the same route I take.
Joy of joys.
Without delaying, I gather my things back in my bag, shoot a quick thanks at the cafe's personnel for allowing me to stay this long, and hastily leave the place. I hope you feel bad, Rebecca. I hope you feel terrible. Hopefully I'm not too late and the side streets aren't too congested yet. However, no 2 steps out, my mobile rings all of a sudden, effectively stopping me in my tracks. I answer it without checking the screen, fully expecting to hear Isabella's string of apologies and excuses. A series of reprimands is already at the tip of my tongue. Friends or not, what she did is simply unacceptable. She needs to learn. She's 26 for goodness sake.
Isabella! I've been waiting for hours! Where the bloody fucking hell are you?
Why don't you look at your phone screen before you answer?
We agreed on a time, didn't we? This isn't funny, you know?
But the one that responds on the other end isn't her voice. They had to pull the common horror movie cliche somehow. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a cliche, right? Like, character answers phone, oh, it's me, creepy guy, ho ho. Main character's like, go away. And then another callback, and the main character's like, go away for real this time. And then it's actually just, oh, it's me, oh ho ho, your mom, what's going on, oh ho ho. That's a common cliche, right? This one is deeper. You're almost out of breath and talks with a bit of a hurried tone.
Rebecca, it's me.
Oh, Ashton. Ash, why are you calling me so suddenly? Do you need something?
Where are you right now? Salemwell?
No, but I'm about to head home. I was supposed to meet with Isabella after school. She never showed up, though. Why?
Ashton doesn't immediately answer, though, however. In place of his reply, I find myself focusing instead on the noise coming from his side. People shouting orders from afar, a few curses flying off and about, someone yelling at another poor bloke. There's also the low murmur of what appears to be in a small group of people around him. Farther back, if I strain my ears, is the din of car horns and vehicles driving past. He must have been assigned on another case, called to another crime scene. In the middle of the night at that. He'll probably end up spending time there until the investigations last. Likely until tomorrow. Without even getting any shut-eye or short rest. My lips press tight at that, but I don't say anything. Any attempts to call him out on it before it has resulted in an argument. Okay, so that line just reads weird. So, they'll probably end up spending time there until the investigation is last. So, like, maybe, like, you'll probably end up spending a lot of hours there until the investigation is last. And in, like, parentheses, you could put hours if you, like, you're quoting it on Wikipedia. But is that? I don't know if that's grammatically correct or just structurally correct. I don't know. And he attempts to call him out on it before he's resulted in an argument. The best I can do at the minute is keep these opinions to myself, no matter how much I disapprove of it, even if I'm the only one who shares the same opinion. Even if I'm not the only one who shares the same opinion. Even Zachary and Isabella has something to say about it. I'm simply the most vocal out of the three of us. That aside, none of those explain why he's calling me in the middle of his work.
Ash, are you still there? I'll be home soon. If this'll take time, just call my landline number. Give me about half an hour. I should be able to find a quicker route home, hopefully.
No, Becca, don't go home yet.
It's going to get late if I don't leave now, Ash. There seems to have been an accident along the route. I'm not sure, but I saw a couple of police mobiles rushing past a few minutes ago. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, do you?
Becca, about that. I need you to get yourself to the hospital.
Hospital? Right now? Why?
A hollow feeling suddenly creeps down into my stomach despite having eaten dinner mere moments ago. Ashton's hesitation doesn't help either. Whatever his reasons for calling, he can only be taken as unpleasant, based solely on his tone.
Ash, is there a problem? Wait, it isn't you, is it? Did you get hurt or something? I told you to never make a joke about that.
So, as much as I hate all this, just Rebecca being like, oh, assumptions, like, Ashton just be like, yo, go to the hospital, Isabella accident. You don't even have to use verbs or like is or anything, just Isabella accident.
Please tell me this isn't one of those.
It's not for me. Calm down, Becca.
Well, why the sudden need for a hospital visit then? I sure as hell am not sick. Who's it for?
Actually, wasn't she just sick? If this dilly-dallying is simply his reluctance, or he's just carefully measuring the weight of his next words, I can't tell. For all of his good looks, he can be brutally blunt even though without putting a concerted effort on it. Within our small circle, unless we really have no other choice, no one ever trusts him with the task of delivering the bad news. And this is one, isn't it? Who put him up to this? The fact that he's dragging it out like this only increases my apprehension.
Ashton, if you're just going to hum and haw for the next 5 minutes, we're better off.
It's Isabella.
Come again?
Isabella. Scaredy cat. She's... Okay, listen up. You didn't hear this from me. And you're not the one who should have heard it first. But someone has to be there with her, and I can't.
Hold on. What exactly happened? I was just talking to her this morning. Now you're telling me she somehow ended up in a hospital?
Yeah, that accident you mentioned earlier. It's...
Bloody hell, Ashton, out with it!
That's what they've turned like a 2-minute scene into a 10-minute one.
Just a few hours ago, a car ran her over while she was crossing the street. I can't give the details yet. We're still checking on the cams, but the driver fled afterwards. She was left bleeding in the road.
Actually, that says bleeding on the road, but the voice actor says in the road. Which one is it? That's a very huge contradiction. All at once, it's though the wind has been knocked out of me and remembering how to breathe. It was a whole different endeavor altogether. My hand makes its way over my mouth as I fight the tremors from gradually sweeping over me. Little by little, the memories of the last few hours rush back to me. Her asking me to keep myself safe. My calls going unanswered for a long period. The passing wails of an ambulance.
She was still breathing when the paramedics arrived, but...
That's what they call dramatic irony.
Her condition's critical. Concussion, multiple fractures, and internal bleeding. They said she lost so much blood, and it'll be a miracle if she makes it through the night. Damn it, when I find the bastard who did this.
What about Zach? Zachary, does he know already? Shouldn't we tell him about this too?
No, not yet. Don't tell him anything yet.
What?
Let's just keep the circle small for now. I don't want to alarm him.
I mean, that's kind of the thing you should tell him, right? Like, oh yeah, she might not make it through the night. You should probably come...
I'll tell him myself tomorrow, but I need you to hurry to the hospital. Can you do that for me?
I mean...
You're the only one I can trust with this right now.
Yeah, I'll be there. No problem. Don't worry about it.
Alright, okay. That's one problem off the list. Thanks, Becca. I'll keep you updated with how things are on my side. I need to go.
He ends the call abruptly. Without so much as a goodbye or a single reassurance everything will be okay. He doesn't know. None of us knows. We can only hope. is the fading of sirens in the distance, like the very life quickly slipping away in front of us. When my body finally moves, despite trembling hands and knees threatening to buckle at any time, it's only the single-minded desperation to reach her that pushes me. Please, please hang in there. The whole ward is almost too quiet when I arrive. Oh, no. Yeah, okay, it's this one. Oh, it's just the coffee cup. Okay. I hate it. I hate it. It bugs me way too much. Okay. Wait, hold on. There's something I saw that I have to go back to. Just whatever. They've just told it. Okay. I don't think I've seen that one before. I don't think I've looked at that one before, I should say. And last one. There we go. Yeah, all good? All good. Rebecca's 5'5". Marian's 5'11". How tall? She might be taller than me. I don't know how tall I am. I think I'm 5 something. Actually, I'm 6'7". I'm a very tall lad. I can beat anyone up in a fight. The whole ward is almost too quiet when I arrive. No paramedics or nurses zooming past, no doctors and scrubs blaring out orders, or even patients moaning and whimpering in the triaging area. Is that a word? She's already been taken to the trauma room according to the overhead announcements.
Attention please. Adult Tier 1 trauma alert. Please respond to the trauma center, shock room 4.
I don't know what that means. None of this is what I'm expecting. The lack of chaos. With the air so calm and unstirring, it's better what's taking place beyond this waiting room, so unlike what they often depict in the telly. Although it would be foolish for me to believe any of those shows. There may be some degree of accuracy in it, true, but it's all often done for the sake of entertainment and stirring up people's emotions. Yet, despite fully knowing that, I still crave for the noise, the commotion, the worried voices, or even the shouting. Anything. Whatever that will take me temporarily... that will temporarily take the edge off my nerves. Instead, much like everything today, all I get to have when a trauma nurse finally shows up is an impassive declaration of, "She's in critical condition, ma'am." Nothing I've not yet heard from Ashton before. He doesn't spare me another word, not even a single explanation of what they're doing to Isabella. In the next minute, I'm being entrusted with her belongings, everything now smeared and reeking of fresh blood. Afterwards, it's back to that silence again, longer this time. With only glass doors occasionally whizzing, as well as the nearby wooden voice over the hospital's intercom for company.
Paging Dr. Nicholas Vogel to Lord William Ward. Shock room 4. Please report to Trauma Center Shock room 4 stat.
Those aren't real people names.
Dr. Vogel, please.
But who am I to demand for more? Do you think, I don't, this has got to be a reference to something. Whether it's just Kickstarter names to names of Nicholas Vogel and Lord William Ward, not just William Ward, Lord William Ward. But who am I to demand for more when in some part of this bloody emergency ward, Isabella's fighting for her life? In the end, no matter what my complaints are, what I want to hear or see, they're all useless here. I mean, I'd rather say the doctors are fighting for her life, but I mean, you do you. I'm useless here.
Dr. Vogel, please report to the Trauma Center Shock room 4 stat.
Dr. Vogel, can you hurry up? Are you the one getting the coffee? Dude, you need to hurry up. All I can do is sit down and wait. Go through every small emotions to keep myself occupied. Prevent my mind from thinking of every ugly scenario this might lead to. Because as stubborn, annoying, or childish as I am regarding her time in again, I
don't want to lose a friend to this.
Not in this manner. And it's that thought I hold firmly to. As the hours go by, as the halls grow quieter and everything around me turns dimmer, bleaker, it's what I cling on. Along with a small plea at the heart of it. A muttered prayer, desperate and earnest all at once.
I've never been the religious kind. I don't think I ever will identify as one. But if there's some other force, someone out there who can hear, please listen to me just this once.
Please don't take her away. Before long, sleep claims me, wrought with the lasting images of blood and a single voice on a vain struggle with death. Okay. Thus the waiting game begins. October 25th, Tuesday. The following morning arrives like any other day before it, bright and clear. As if the world hasn't completely tilted out of focus the night before, like nothing has ever happened. Wonder, where are we? Okay, we're just starting this. And then I assume after that it's normal Rebecca route. It's a good day. Like, it's a good day, Rebecca. By common standards, albeit one I can't fully appreciate. Maybe I would have if it isn't this hospital's glaring fluorescence that greeted me first, where my eyes still aren't rough with sleep, or I've chosen a more comfortable place to doze off. Even better, if I've gotten a more pleasant news than what I received after waiting for hours on end. But times like this, you simply take what you can get. It could have been worse. We could have easily lost her. The doctors and nurses said so. But by some bullheaded miracle, we didn't. What do you know? She actually found out some use for her stubbornness. If she survives this, seems this will be the last time I'll rail on her about that. Might have saved her after all. That induced coma, yes. May not be what we wanted, but it sure as heck isn't the end for her, and that's enough. That's good enough. We can work from there. At least like this, we know in her own little way, Isabella's still fighting and hoping isn't such a futile thing for us. Zachary thinks so. Unlike me, he never falters. Not even once since he arrived and joined me in my vigil. I assume that's based off the choice you make when you show up as Zachary. Even when the uncertainty starts to have its sway on me, all he has for me are reassurances. What's our relationship with him? Yeah, okay, it's positive. Just have to work in Ashton then. I wonder if we're gonna get that achievement since Isabella's in a coma. Maybe not.
You did the right thing, Rebecca.
You don't know that. What if she doesn't want this? Do you see all of these? Wires and tubes and bandages everywhere. She's barely herself, clinging to dear life as it is. She can't even hear us. Doesn't even know there are people here worried sick for her.
The point is she's still here. Don't beat yourself up over what ifs. This ain't over for her, aight? I've seen people recover from even worse. Have some faith in her.
I do have faith in her.
You know what? I think this is just a lack of sleep talking. You've been here since when? Last night? Go get some rest, Miss Gales.
But Isabella's...
He didn't say Miss Gales when he said it.
I'll take care of her, don't you worry. We can do shifts if you want.
I don't think you did.
We'll talk about that later when you ain't looking like you're about to fall apart. If you keep going like this, you're the one who'll end up here next.
I don't know if it's the optimism in his tone that did it. But at his words, regardless of the mood around us, some of the exhaustion finally lifts. Enough for a soft chuckle to slip out from me. How odd. Out of all the people, Zachary's the last person I ever expect to get a pick-me-up from. After all, we've never been particularly close. At best, we're good friends. We talk, we laugh when the situation calls for it, but, admittedly, none of those will ever occur if Ashton or Isabella aren't there. It's not entirely uncomfortable, but awkward, nevertheless. We suddenly can't seem to find something to talk about without those two to drive the conversation. Still, here he is, in spite of that gap or whatever dark cloud hanging above his head lately. I can't possibly reject his offer knowing that, can I?
This feels like a conversation I had with Isabella a few days ago. I said the exact same thing to her.
Then maybe it's a sign you should rest. Let me take over from now.
Maybe. But I'll keep that in mind. Are you sure you'll be fine alone? I'll come back this evening. So if you need anything picked up, I can get it for you.
Nah, no problem on that front. Besides, if I do need something, my apartment's just a few blocks away. Skipping a hop, that's all I need. Focus on getting some sleep. Let me take care of this for a few hours. Do it for everyone's sake,
We'll do. Thanks, Zachary. If something changes with her, promise me you'll call.
You'll be the first one to know, ma'am. Well, if it comes to that. I hope the news I bring will be better than the one we got this morning. Crazy thing having to wake up to this.
I hope so too. I'll see you later.
I give him a smile before leaving. Frankly, it's a weak and half-hearted attempt at encouragement, but whether it's intended to be for me or for him, I don't linger over it. At the end of the day, we both need any little strength we can muster and extend between us, in whatever form those may choose to come. The door closes behind me with a soft click, at last muffling the ceaseless beeping from the machines. But I know this isn't the last time I'll be hearing those. A wholly different atmosphere meets me when I step out of the hallway. stare out of place, along with a sharp, bitter air dangling oppressively above my head as I make my way out of the ward. Is this? Yeah, this thing's... Okay. Huh, I wonder what this is then. There's no dead end option, so there's no ghost scene. Well, presumably no ghost scene. At least it means there's no QTE. It stands out at a stark contrast to the room I came from only seconds ago. With a whole place like this, Zachary's passing remark about Isabella years ago rings truer. He's right. There's always been this certain warmth she carries around her wherever she goes. The sunny, sprightly kind. Reminds you a little of home and those childhood memories so often forgotten. Something I both envy and ignore in her, to the point of taking it for granted. But in spite of the circumstances she's trapped in now, it remains with her in that room. And leaving it is like a douse of cold water. Douse? Dose? I think it's douse, isn't it? Every thought, every responsibility, every worry I've set aside last night returns to me tenfold. Someone has to inform BRC. And there's also her aunt who works in another county. She needs to know as well. Her family's in the Philippines too. And though he never asked for it, I'm sure Ashton will appreciate any news on her condition.
Bloody hell. This is supposed to be easy.
Call and deliver the news, as simple as that. Offer small soothing words if need be, no matter how meaningless or flat they fall on the other's ears. Yet, my hand wavers. The moment I pull my phone out, my whole body freezes. I stop in my tracks while my thumb hovers uselessly over the names on the screen. Her aunt, her mom, Ashton. The letters on it flicker brightly, almost accusingly, at my stalling. How will they react? How will their family feel, hearing this from someone they've never even met before? How do I tell them? What do I say? There are a million ways this can go. None of them are pleasant, all of them out of my control.
But I can't simply pawn this off on someone else, can I?
Even before I agreed to be her emergency contact, I've always known the responsibility that comes with being named one. At a young age, I already did. Isabella's trust goes as far as to put me in that list. If that doesn't say what she thinks of this little friendship, I don't know what else will be. But now I balk at it?
Simply isn't how the Scotswoman in my blood does things.
Oh, yeah, Rebecca Scott? Oh, okay. That's why she talked funny. So before I lose the sudden resolve, I stumble back into another cycle of negative thoughts. I press down on the call button. But is Marianne Scottish or I... Oh, it's... Oh, she's Irish. Oh, I thought she was Scottish. It's the same thing. It's just a little over the ocean. They still have no clue how I'll open the topic. The news is still a far cry from a good one. But with them, I won't have to worry about how to best phrase it. Word choice and turn of phrase notwithstanding, ultimately, this will all just sound like an update on the situation for him. When he finally answers, however, a certain tightness in his voice makes me pause. Horsey, you're rougher than I remember. It doesn't take a genius to figure out he hasn't gotten any sleep yet.
Becca, didn't I tell you not to call around this hour unless it's urgent?
I remember, sorry. Don't worry, this'll be quick.
Yeah, your friend's in a coma. Oh, that's urgent, okay. I already know that though, but you know, it's cool.
It isn't urgent, but I thought you deserve to know about this as soon as possible.
Can it wait? At least until lunch?
It can, but I'm about to...
For all he knows, she could be dead, right? Like, he hasn't gotten an update at all. So, I mean, like...
Rebecca, I'm in the middle of something right now. I can't really talk over the phone. I'll just call you back.
Oh, is this during the real estate? When he breaks into BRC? Or... The shuffling of papers follows his dismissive tone. Note. He hasn't dropped the call yet, but his impatience and inattentiveness are clear. There's no need to guess. I can almost see it. The small scowl over his features. The way he reaches up with a hand to pinch the bridge of his nose when he can't figure something out. His quick, sharp movements while he checks and reads through everything with an enormous focus. Generally, I'd ignore it. I called him for an entirely different reason. Even so, the sudden nonchalance irks. Maybe it has to do with my own exhaustion. Without a doubt, he's been at this since his call last night. That part I understand. Still, would it hurt him to pause and ask for a minute? Do I always have to spell it out for him? Or maybe it's time we stop beating around the bush. So like this one is like, you know, dude, yeah, I'm gonna be a bit snappy, but at the same time, like, you know, you should priorities, right? So maybe it's or this one's just the passive. Like, oh yeah, go with this one. Ah, dang it. Wait, do I want to get it low? Huh. I didn't think about that. Okay, we'll raise it by 1. We'll get it to the neutral mark. Now, for knowing Ashton, any attempts to push will only be met with an almost equal amount of bloody-minded aversion. So we're still... Yeah. Honestly, there are a lot of things he needs to hear at the moment. But bringing all those concerns out in the open will probably make me sound more of a pure... not nice guy than a concerned friend. We're in the same boat after all. This is as difficult for him as it is for me. Never mind the specifics, the hows or the whys. We're both tired. Though unlike me, it isn't likely he hasn't gotten the chance to breathe easy since this whole thing began. Furthermore, Zachary isn't with him to listen like he always does. So, if I could ease some of that burden off him by holding off on my sharp retorts and opinions, then for the time being, I'll gladly do so.
How is it going, by the way? Any news?
The wrestling from his side abruptly stops. All of a sudden, a hush sweeps over him, and immediately I recognize it. This is him mulling over how to best articulate his answers, how to weave together those little truths he's not ready to brave. Because doing so reveals too much of those fears, his weaknesses, and what he believes he failed to do. Unspoken as those may be, they echo louder in his silence. They all seep through the tiny cracks beginning to show in that wall he keeps. It doesn't really last long enough to hold. When he regains his bearings, the shuffling returns with it, less urgent, milder than his actions earlier. A soft exhale and his exasperation come on its heels.
Not good.
Not good, as in...
As in, we aren't getting anywhere, Rebecca.
What about the surveillance cameras? You said you were going to check those last night, didn't you? Can't you use them? It must have caught something.
Yeah, we got the footage we needed. Oh, shit.
Don't talk like that. They spent a good chunk of the taxpayers' money on those, didn't they? I'd be cheesed off if you can't even find any good use for it.
Yeah, should be cheesed off, Ashton.
That's precisely what's frustrating about this. Those are top-of-the-line security cams. They're not supposed to just stop working. But that night they were all useless. The recording chose to fuck up the exact moment we needed them. How dumb is that?
His voice fades, gradually, swallowed by the constant din of traffic around him, along with the words and every implication they carry. If he has found other ways around this predicament, he leaves all of it unsaid or has already been lost in the hubbub around him. Ashton's disappointment is the only thing I hear when he finds his tongue.
The guys at Tech have been trying to clean the footage since it was turned over. No promises from them, though.
Another round of shuffling follows, papers being folded and stacked neatly together, the sharp tapping of shoes against concrete. Soon a car door closes behind him with a heavy thunk, effectively shutting out the noise outside. However he looks or feels at present, whatever is bound to happen next, he won't allow the world to see this one weakness. Except the lull that ensues deafens more than soothes. He's quiet for a long moment, only his breathing breaking through the dense air every now and then. Although the line hasn't been cut off yet, I dare not speak. I've seen him like this before, and right now, even with the distance between us, forming a clear picture of him in my mind is easy. His head leaning against the steering wheel, hands gripping it like a lifeline, and his eyes shut tight in an effort to compose himself. He's angry, not at what's happening around him.
We can't move like this. We can't even find any witnesses. Those recordings are the only thing we've got. And if Tech can't fix those, if we can't even get anything out of it, without those, you've got no other leads. And this case is going to get dropped faster than a badly written police report.
Ooh! How often do those get dropped? But at himself.
If that happens, frankly, I've got no other choice but to let go of this. There's only so much I can do for her with all the red tape. Damn it.
No consolations, no words of encouragement. I don't offer him any, whether he's waiting for those or not. Those aren't what he wants to hear at the moment, despite himself. And sure enough, after another bout of silence and skirting around the topic, he finally asks. In a tense, small voice, too afraid of the answers lying ahead of one question, too wary of what people will see behind those walls already coming apart at the seams. But he permits me to see beyond it, if only for a short second.
How?
Oh yeah, she died. After all that, the least I can do is give him a plain-spoken answer.
Comatose. medically induced. She's on life support. They had no other choice. Surgery was stopped after a few hours because continuing would have been more fatal for her. They were losing their options, and her chances were slim from the moment they brought her in. That she managed to make it this far is already a miracle.
That's a little too optimistic. Is that how they phrased it?
No, not exactly like that.
Just give it to me straight.
The doctors said... The doctors, they were... Last night was a miracle. But they said we shouldn't hope for another with how things are looking. They aren't going to do anything without our consent, of course, but it'd be best if we let her family know. Let them decide.
I see. I expected as much.
Have some faith in her. She'll get better. I wish I could tell those same words to him with the same certainty Zachary does, where people are rarely swayed by blind optimism. Ashton especially. He's seen her last night. He's known the odds even before the doctor saw her. It's very probable he's already steeled himself from the worst of it even before the news came. Wow, you can't even do probable, right? It's probably, wow. Yang Mobile, is that your name? I think that is. This one might seem better. She's alive, she's still with us. When you look at it from his point of view, is there even any difference? With Zachary, it's easy to believe there is. It's not too difficult to hope. With Ashton, none of it is in his tone when he mutters a quick goodbye and cuts the call. In truth, I've hoped I'll somewhat be able to urge him to drop by and check on her. But if the last busy note fades away from my phone, chances of him ever doing that grow ever slim as well. So is that... No, okay, we're still going. He'll keep at this. Until he's exhausted all of his efforts, it'll just be me and Zachary with her. The weight of that thought alone already feels staggering. Okay, I'm gonna call this one here. Next one will probably finish off the Rebecca route. And the Ashton route will probably be an episode or two, and then Luke's route will probably be very quick. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.